So we should be out of here in less than 20 minutes. We're going back to begin with this movement. This question is by Dalia Jaramillo. I'm sorry, Dalia Jaramillo. Jaramillo. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name. Jaramillo. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's by my dear friend Dalia. So, do you have a plan for increasing community gardens and farmers markets in CD14 to help better community nutrition?
My question?
Yes.
Well, I don't have my own personal plan, but I have supported a lot of the programs. At the Wellness Center, we have the Halim program that brings in young people and trains them and prepares them on how to take advantage of planting fruits and vegetables in their own communities. You know, I live next to an empty lot that belongs to the city. I look forward to an opportunity to build that into a community garden for our community. There are great opportunities. We have lots that many times can't be sold, and instead of utilizing them for things that can't be created there, instead of having those empty lots right now, it's housing a lot of empty mattresses and old furniture that we should remove. It'd be nice to have a garden in the community.
I agree. I think community gardens are important to our communities. We need to work towards building more community gardens. We have food deserts in our community where we don't have good food, organic food. As a graduate student, I helped organize and mobilize the South Central farmers who were being thrown out in South LA. And what I learned from them was that is how they were able to feed their families with good food, nutritional food that is very conducive to our well-being. First and foremost, I think we need to do soil testing to make sure that the ground is pure enough to grow vegetables and fruits and things that are going to feed our families. That's very, very important from a health perspective. Gardens are important because it can bring education on how to garden and bring people together, seniors together with children, to work the land and to be able to grow things and look at what we grow and provide food.
Thank you. Mr. Travis?
I totally support increasing community gardens and farmers markets. I think for communities like our communities that are food deserts, farmers markets give us an opportunity to shop for fresh produce, which oftentimes is not available. I also believe that we should look at the city's empty lots. As an affordable housing commissioner, multiple times we asked for a list of all the city-owned lots, and it was rocket science for the city to get us a list. They were never able to get us a list of all the empty lots that they owned. I said, well, that's kind of weird. You can't tell us what you own. But I would propose that any empty lots that are in communities where we're lacking green space or we're lacking access to healthy food, we should look at converting those lots into community gardens. I also did have the opportunity to work on parkway gardens. When I worked in South Los Angeles at St. John's Wild Child and Family Center, we converted the local parkways into gardens.
Thank you. This question will begin with Ms. Diaz. Do you support the LA River Revitalization Project?
Yes, I do. I think the LA River Revitalization Project is important to the city, to the district, in regards to maintaining a healthy environment. I believe that the incumbent hasn't done enough in regards to bringing the community members together in regards to planning for the LA River, and I think that's really very, very key. We need to think smarter, work smarter, and create an environment that's going to be clean and safe, and the LA River is a place where we can start that. So I do support that, and I look forward to learning more about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Travis?
Yes, I support the LA River Revitalization Plan. I think it's great that we did receive a $1 billion grant from the Army Corps of Engineers. But like was stated, I also believe that the community hasn't had much input into what that's going to look like. So I do support it, but I also would caution that there's going to be a lot of development that's going to come with revitalizing the LA River, and we just want to ensure that gentrification doesn't occur without community input. So I do support it, but I do think we have to ensure that we don't make some of the same mistakes we've made in the past.
Thank you.
I support it, and I hope to play a leadership role in it.
Thank you. Mr. Chavez, we're going to start with you with this question. This question is by Juan Ochoa. What will you do if elected about the overpopulation of parked motorhomes along our streets? These motorhomes do not get moved, and parking enforcement does nothing about it.
Well, I think that's a challenge when parking enforcement doesn't enforce our laws. I would obviously identify problem areas where we do have many motorhomes parked, and work with parking enforcement to ensure that they're actually upholding the law and ensuring that these vehicles are not parked there longer than they're supposed to. But I think this goes back to the larger problem of affordable housing. Why are people living in these motorhomes, right? Because chances are they can't afford to rent an apartment or a house. So I think we have to get back to figuring out how we encourage or how we build or requiring that developers build affordable housing is a little challenging because of legal ramifications. But I think this goes back to an affordable housing or housing access problem.
Thank you. Ms. Miller?
I don't think it's just the motorhomes and the RVs. I think it's also the semi-trucks that are parked there. I think we have to enforce the law and move them out.
Thank you. Ms.
I believe we need to assess the situation. I do know that we are all witness to mobile homes or cars that are parked for a lengthy period of time. And it does, sometimes people do live in their cars or trailers because they have no other place to go. So we need to assess the situation, and then we do also need to have some teeth in regards to policy, maybe fines or some other type of way of handling the situation. Where I live, for example, I've called the office several times. We've got cars parked on streets for days and they don't leave. Some are even selling cars. And the incumbent still has not done anything. Possibly maybe putting meters to deter that so that there's some kind of money coming in. But again, it's going to take assessing and evaluating the situation to take care of the problem.
Thank you. This question, now we're coming back to Ms. Molina. How will you help cut payouts due to police brutality and police misconduct?
Well, that's a tough one, but of course it is training of police to really have a better recognition and understanding. It is tough because I know I was in the county and we saw all of those issues of police brutality and other kinds of problems, and I think it's an overreach. It really requires having the kind of captain and law enforcement personnel that are well trained to address the issues, and very frankly, hopefully not getting the kind of lawsuits and certainly hiring the kind of lawyers that we need as well to protect us from those lawsuits. But I think at the end of the day, the biggest problem overall is the liability that is being brought to the city, and certainly the councilman is one of the first ones that's brought tremendous liability to the city by many of the lawsuits that he's been incurring as well.
Police brutality. Can you repeat the question?
Of course. How will you help cut payouts due to police brutality and police misconduct?
I think there needs to be leadership within the police department, first of all, and also education. LAPD needs more education in regards to cultural sensitivity, health. For example, I work with Alzheimer's disease patients, and many police officers don't understand the disease. Sometimes the patient will not be oriented by 4 and will do things that are inappropriate. And what happens? The person is beat up, is treated badly and abused. I am against any type of police brutality, but I do have hope. And I do think that there can be education, intervention, and prevention to prevent police brutality and a better understanding of human treatment. Yes, there are criminals out there, and yes, they need to be punished, and yes, we need to stand firm in our conviction when they hurt our families. However, police brutality is unacceptable, and it is a disgrace to our society when we have to resort to dealing with this issue.
Thank you.
I am completely against police brutality in all of its different forms. But I do think that the police, unfortunately, have a very tough job in our communities. And I think part of the challenge that we do have is that a lot of times there is a distrust between the police and the community. And that's a common theme I'm hearing in walking in Wyburnwood, in walking in Ramona Gardens, and walking in different communities where the people don't feel like the police is actually there to protect them. They actually feel like the police is actually there to hurt them. So I think we have to do a better job of building a partnership or working with the police department. Community policing, where maybe citizens play a more active role in ensuring the safety of our communities. But it's not an easy solution. But I do think we do have to use cultural sensitivity training and other training opportunities to ensure that this isn't happening in our community.
Thank you. This is our final question, and it will also serve as our time for our closing statement as well. For this last question, you will be given 3 minutes to answer it. We will begin with Ms. Diaz, move to Mr. Chavez, and end with Ms. Molina with this. We're going in the same order. Actually I'll ask the question and then thank you guys and do a little closing, okay? So I'll give you a second to collect your thoughts. The question is, why did you decide to run, and what makes you different from the previous candidates? What will the very first thing that you do when you take the office? Okay? And while the candidates are taking a moment to collect their thoughts, I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We truly appreciate your time, appreciate your brilliant questions that you have given and provided tonight. We ask that you continue to be involved and engaged in your community. For the neighborhood council, we have a meeting here, this very same location, the very first Wednesday of each month at 6 p.m. and we invite you to come out and to continue to be involved and engaged in your community. Now we will head on back to the candidates and give you this moment, these 3 minutes to answer the question. Want to repeat it? Okay. Why did you decide to run, and what makes you different from the previous candidates? What will be the first thing that you do when you take office?
What makes me different than the other candidates is that I'm not a career politician. I'm a health care provider, social worker, researcher. I've lived in the district for many years, and I decided to run because I believe we need to restore the moral integrity in that office. And also respect, integrity, transparency, and equality. It is long overdue. Unfortunately, what we have been up against is a lack of interest in our needs. And that is one reason why I decided to run when myself, my neighbors who live around me, who I work with, were not getting a return phone call for simple, basic needs. Can you pick up the trash? Can you clean the alley? Can you fix the sidewalk? Can you trim the trees? No response. I decided to run for office because, one, I may not be a career politician, but I know how to find the answers. I'm a researcher. I believe in consensus building and bringing experts to the table, bringing constituents to the table, and addressing whatever the matter may be. Also, I decided to run because I am tired of paying my taxes going to recreational activities that have nothing to do with government. Let's look at 2014, for example. What did we pay for? The gentleman who's not here today got paid $181,000 per year that year. Then he hits a car, no alcohol testing, and we pay $185,000 for that accident. Then We have an individual who went from $53,000 per year to $135,000 a year. A secret door was constructed with our taxes, so this individual can go to the door and meet the incumbent at any time on taxpayer time. How much did that cost us in just 2014? With just that amount of money, about approximately $566,000 in 2014. He's already earned his 3 years of salary. He needs to go. We need a new leader who's going to listen to you, who's going to do something and not just sit and collect a paycheck. It is deplorable. It is wrong. It is inappropriate behavior that is coming out of that office. Another reason, he has had close to 100 staff members. A real leader will maintain their staff. Ms. Molina here is one of them. She's an example for that. He is not. He is not. And that is not fair. Our taxes, again, are paying for their salaries. What is getting done in CD14 since the incumbent has been in office? Absolutely nothing. Do not cut